What I'm going to show you in this clip is the basics of Google Docs and the advantages of Google Docs. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, at the moment I'm in my Google Drive, and when I create a Google document, this is where it's going to be saved to. So I can also create my Google Doc from within my Google Drive. And to do that, I click here on New, and I've got the option of Google Docs down here. So I'm going to click on that one. And you can see my Google Doc opens. And the first thing you'll notice is it's pretty much like a standard word processor. I've got all these different options here that I can do, such as change my font size, bold, center, just to name a few of the things. And as well as just being a normal word processor, I'm going to share all the advantages a little bit later on about what Google Docs actually can do. The first thing I'd recommend as soon as you create a Google document is you need to name it, and that happens up here. At the moment it's called Untitled Document, so I want to click there and rename it. I'm going to rename this one Testing. Click OK. The other option I've got here too, when I hover up here, I can also see that I've got the option of moving it to a folder. At the moment, it's just going to be in my general Google Drive. If I click here, I can choose any of the folders that I've already got set up to move it into. At the moment, I'm happy with it to be in my Google Drive, so I'm not going to move it anyway. So once I've got my document, I can write on it, I can do all those normal things, but what I want to do is change this into a document that I can collaborate with others on. So to do that, I'm going to choose the option up here of share. At the moment, you can see that it's private only to me. I want to share it with, in this instance, a colleague, so that we can work together on the same document. So to do that, I'll push share, and I'm going to enter the name. This is where we enter the name of the email address of the people we want to share it with. You can share it with multiple people if you like. I'm going to choose just to share it with one person now. I could write a message in here, and this will get sent to their email, notifying them that they have this document. And importantly here, I've got the three options of what this person can do. In this instance, what Shelley can do, if I leave it that she can edit it, that means that she can write on the document just like I can. The other options are that I can choose for her to only be able to comment on the document. And that means that we can create a discussion on the side of the document, which I'm going to show you shortly, but she would not be able to write on the actual document. The last option is that I could share it so she could only view the document. So this is handy if I don't want them to edit it and I don't want them to be able to comment on it. It might be something that you're sharing with someone, like a certificate, that you don't actually want them to edit at all. So that's when you would use the can view option. And then in this instance, I want to use the can edit option, and then simply I send, and that will go to her email address and she will get that document. So in the meantime, I'm going to close the document that I've just sent, and I'm going to open this document that I've already shared, and I can see that my colleague Shelley has already got the document open at the same time, and she has also added some feedback and some ideas on this sheet too. So we created this document. We've named it Google Docs Advantages. I've written a few things here. I can see that Shelley's got the document open too, because she's got this little icon of her name up here. I can also see that this pink cursor here, that's where she would be writing. So for example, she might write something here, and that would come up and I know that's her. What I can also see is that this text here, I created this earlier, and I can see that Shelley has used the comment function and she's highlighted this text. So if I was to do it down here, you highlight the text, and there's this button here that you say insert a comment. So for that particular comment, I can write something here. And we could have a conversation about that here. I can see that Shelley's done exactly that with this comment. I could open that and I could reply to her, and we can have a discussion about that comment along the bottom of, along the side of the sheet there. So that's the important thing about what the comment function can do. What my students in the class generally like is when they don't like it when I write on their document, but they don't mind it, obviously, if we have this conversation down the side. So they feel there's that sort of ownership over their own work, as long as we're giving feedback down in the comment section here, and we can have that discussion about that work as we go. So that's the comments. Another option of Google Docs here. If I highlighted this text, at the moment if I come up here, I can see that I'm in editing mode, and that means I'm just writing on the document. I can change that to suggesting mode here. So edits become suggestions. So for example, I could write in here, if I didn't want to use that word students, we could use, I could say we should use the children instead, and Shelley would get this box come up here that's saying maybe we could replace students with the children, or we could replace a spelling mistake with whatever we've said is the right spelling here. So she could get that, she would get that there on her document. If she chooses to tick it, which we might see here, then it replaces as well. So that's a pretty powerful tool if you are giving feedback to students, if you're looking at their a creative writing task, for example, you're fixing up bits of their spelling and parts of their grammar, but you're not doing it directly on the document, you're giving them the suggestions so they can then go back and see what they did originally and see how we could change it. So really powerful using that suggesting option or the editing. So if I change back here for the editing, I'm free to write away on that sheet. The last thing I want to show here is that we can also see the revision history by pushing this button here. So see revision history, and that's going to open this window that says the different times that we did certain things on the document, and we can click here and we could go back and restore that version if we wanted to. I could go back here and see what it looked like to start with. So this is what it is here. We could also see more detailed revisions, and that's going to see it at any one of those times. So why that's handy is if you had students who were working on the same document in a group project, you could clearly see who's contributing what to that document. Another way you could use that tool is for create a creative writing task. You could see if the students actually gone back, if they're editing their own work and going through the documents and seeing what can be changed later on. So that can be, if used correctly, a powerful tool that you can use. That's the revision history. So now that I've showed you the functionality and the power of those Google Docs and the sharing with it, the ideas that I use the sharing capabilities of Google Docs in the classroom are, or between teachers, it's great for sharing ideas or concerns. It's great for collaborative planning, so we can all collaborate and plan on the same document. It's great for sharing students' work between teachers, especially in an integrated curriculum. But most importantly for me, I reckon it's really, really powerful to share the document between the student and the teacher, and the feedback that we can give them through the comments and by the suggesting tool. Being able to do that at any time and work with a student on a document is something that we couldn't do before on normal word processes. So it's obviously got a lot of advantages rather than taking books home every night and trying to mark them. It's good if we can just have these conversations on the side with the students and really try and enhance the learning process that way. In addition to that, one other thing that I like to try to do is if the parents have a Google account and we can get their email address, we can also add them into this sharing process as well, and creating that triangle between the student, the teacher, and the parents. If we could get the teacher giving feedback here, as well as parents looking and commenting on that, that would be really powerful for that student to see that we've got everyone trying to enhance their learning.